It is the day after the election 2012. We have had good elections, we've had bad elections. We've had good days and we've had bad days. We've had our teeth kicked in and we've had other days where we thought, okay, well, teeth aren't kicked in as badly as we thought. But we haven't had a good day in quite some time. Now, I am not the guy to come to necessarily on those good days, because generally I can find things that aren't so good about them.
No.
Yeah, that has been said. That's the rumor going around.
What?
But I want you to know, I have made a goal for myself today to not use the term black swan event.
All day.
Wow. I will not tell you what I think is coming.
That is a commitment.
What I'm going to tell you today is happy days are here again.
Harry Reid has lost his job because he is an evil slop. Harry Reid has lost his corrupt job as the world's most evil slop.
See, this is not what I was necessarily going for. It's not necessarily. I don't think Gandhi would have done
Were
that.
you going for this?
The Democrats had a crappy night. Their agenda is a commie break. The Democrats, they really suck, but so do Republicans.
Okay, well, that one actually is a little better. I like it a little bit better. Yeah.
What was that first one? I don't think I heard most of that. What was the first one?
You heard it. No.
Harry Reid has lost his job. It's because he is an evil slop. Harry Reid has lost his corrupt job as the world's most evil slop. Harry Reid has lost his job because he is an evil slop. Harry Reid has lost his corrupt job as the world's most evil slop. As the world's most evil slop.
All right, I don't think that. Again, I don't think that's necessary.
So, would you consider Harry Reid to be a neat person?
A neat person?
Yeah, like someone who has a clean way of living?
No.
No?
No.
Do you have any evidence to the opposite of that?
I would just say that...
All right.
He said it.
All right.
He's an evil slob, which should answer my cleanliness question.
No, I don't think that's a real question. I think you were just trying to get him to sing again.
What? No.
I can't imagine that.
No, I mean, I wanted the evidence.
He's already sung it twice, so certainly...
Right.
Does that hurt when you sing it? A little bit. I bet it does. Yet it feels good. Strangely, I'm sure it does.
Yes.
You do have a beautiful singing voice.
Oh, my.
Thank
You
you.
should sit next to him in church.
Oh,
It is. Oh, no. We could sing.
Bringing in the sheets is fun. Yeah, bringing in the sheets is fun.
All right, so let's go through. Tim Scott, the first. This is how racist. Now, I want you to know, Tim Scott is a Tea Party candidate.
yes.
Now, remember, the
Tea Party loves Tim Scott.
Tea Party is racist.
Mm-hmm.
Tea Party candidate Tim Scott, the first black senator ever elected in the South.
Just for Republicans, though, right?
No, the first black senator ever elected in the South. A Tea Party candidate.
Some had been appointed by legislators after Reconstruction, but none had ever been elected before. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
And it didn't happen in the Democrat Party, which is so loving and so inclusive and so diverse.
Okay, well, hang on just a second. Mia Love, Tea Party candidate, the first black Republican woman in the House.
Yes, that's
ever
great.
elected yesterday. And from Utah. Which, is she going to work in the kitchen in the House? When she was running for the House, she meant like the House. She was like, there's got to be a vacuum cleaner someplace, right?
Maybe they misunderstood.
She's like,
and that's what they thought.
Oh, the House, like House of Representatives? Oh, I can't work there.
No.
I need to work at the House.
Sorry, we broke into MSNBC coverage for a moment there.
Tom Tillis beat Kay Hagan.
And that was not expected.
No, in fact, that was the one state in our pre-election coverage that I got wrong. We had 53. It looks like Alaska will also go, although it's not final yet. And if Louisiana goes the way it's expected in the runoff, it will be 54 seats. And,
we're at 52 right now.
And the other one that's still it's still too close to call, they're saying, is Virginia, although Mark Warner has already claimed victory there. But 54 seats, and it was an impressive 54. I mean, Virginia, we talked about this last night on our election coverage on the Blaze TV. We had a map of the races to watch. We didn't even highlight Virginia as a race to watch.
Didn't look like a possibility.
And it looks like, it's going to come down to about 10,000 votes out of over 2 million cast.
Here's the thing. If this wouldn't have even been close had you put somebody like Matt Bevin in. If you would have had Matt Bevin and maybe one other guy, the Tea Party would have been out in force. Out in force. Evangelical community actually increased their voting percentage, which is great news.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was according to David Barton last night. He told me as we were walking off the set. So that's good news. But had you have had a couple of more people in there that were Tea Party favorites that would have said, that you would have felt like, okay, this is our chance. This is our chance.
Chris McDaniel.
Because there's I don't know a soul that went out and was excited about voting. We all went out because we felt we had to, but nobody was excited. Had you gone out and you had a couple of people where we would have thought this is going to be a sweep, this would have been, you would have had 20 points between some of these candidates. 20 points.
You have to say, it would have been easier, I believe, with candidates like Matt Bevin or Milton Wolf in Kansas, for example. But when it came down to the actual vote, Mitch McConnell won by 15 points. 15 points. Now, he struggled, and they had to dump tons of cash into that race, and there was a lot of reasons to not want Mitch McConnell running there. But, this was a huge wave. It's not as big as 2010, but
may I say that
pretty big.
May I say that Mitch McConnell has nailed it on why this has happened.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Over there is my TV prep. Can you see if there's that TV prep is there? Can you bring that over to me real quick? Yeah, no, it's really clear. Mitch McConnell was very, very clear on why this happened.
And so dead on accurate. I think.
Oh no,
you're going to be so in agreement with this statement.
Yeah, there's no question.
There's nothing to argue about here.
And just for the future, next time you want something really quick, don't ask Jeffy.
I didn't.
Good point.
I asked Matthew, and Matthew decided to choose Jeffy as the vehicle.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so here it is.
Wow, that was slow.
About that.
Dayline, Washington. It was late last spring, and Republican leaders knew that if they wanted to win the Senate, they needed to crush the enemy. Not the Democrats, but the rebels within their own party. And Chris McDaniel, the Senate candidate from Mississippi, who had a history of making sexist and racially insensitive remarks, was a problem.
Didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, yeah, you did. No, it says it right here. No, he has a history of making sexually and racist.
It must be true. Must be true.
Candidates like Scott Brown running for Senate in New Hampshire. How did Scott do last night?
He lost.
Oh,
unfortunately.
He lost.
Wait a minute. What happened to him?
He lost 52 to 48.
Candidates like Scott Brown running for Senate in New Hampshire called the Republican senatorial committee to complain that if McDaniel was not stopped, he could drag the whole party down, according to Scott Brown, a guy without a job today.
Jeez.
He could drag the whole party down.
Thank you for sharing this, because I was just falling back in love with Scott Brown.
The strategists inside the committee's headquarters on Capitol Hill were envisioning nightmares of Democrats characterizing their candidates as mini McDaniels. The committee's executive director, Rob Collins, dragged complacent donors into the effort, playing recordings for them of some of McDaniel's most incendiary remarks and persuading them to underwrite the massive get-out-the-vote effort to defeat him.
This is not the positive Glenn that was proposed before the program.
I'm just telling you what Harry Reid said. In June,
Mitch McConnell. Same thing.
In June, the party establishment just barely vanquished Mr. McDaniel, reaching a turning point in their dogged campaign to pursue the party extremists and regain power in the Senate. Republicans' impressive showing Tuesday night, marking the first time the party will have a majority in both House and Senate since 2006, was the result of methodical plotting, careful candidate vetting, and abundant preparation to ensure that the party's candidates would avoid repeating the same devastating mistakes that cost them dearly in 2010.
Cost them dearly?
The biggest wave in the century?
Cost them dearly in 2010 and 2012.
Oh.
You get the best players out on the field in November. Avoid doing some stuff that makes us look like we're not adult enough to govern and hope the wave is big, said Mitch McConnell.
This is bringing me
in an
down.
interview.
You're bringing me down. Why are you bringing me down? This is not the day to bring me down. But Pat, do you have any idea if Harry Reid is a neat person? Do you have any clue if Harry Reid or Mitch... Harry Reid...
Harry Reid has lost his job because he is an evil slob. Harry Reid has lost his corrupt job as the world's most evil slob.
Okay, wait a minute. I've got some good things. I've got a good thing.
You do?
I do. I have some good things. Okay.
Okay.
I actually believe that the coalition can be put back together. You know, we've kind of given up on getting together and saying, you know, like the marches, and I don't think we need to do marches again, but like the marches, we've all kind of said, you know, none of it is working. Well, the reason why it wasn't working is because Harry Reid was standing in the Senate, and there was nothing the Republicans could do because the House could do everything they wanted, but they could never get it past the Senate, so you could never get anything to the president's desk. But now there's no reason. There should be an avalanche of activity. So they can't say an obstructionist Congress. They have to say an obstructionist president. That there's just an avalanche of activity of bills that are going to be signed by the president. And then the president is going to obstruct them. And right now we have a chance to be able to bring the coalition and the grassroots back together and say to not to Harry Reid, to Mitch McConnell, I'm going to have a hard time separating those two for a while, but Mitch McConnell and to John Boehner standing together and saying, I don't think so, because not in their wildest dreams can they actually think that this was due to them. This has nothing to do with, as Harry Reid said, we just want to work together. The American people sent a message last night, this according to Harry Reid, that they want us to work together. No.
They did not send that message.
You said that the Republicans were evil, they were racist, they were going to destroy the country. You said that they were sexist. You said that they were just going to shut everything down. You called them every name under the sun. You said that they were going to ban birth control, that they were going to basically eviscerate women and put them back into the kitchen. That's what you said. That was the image that this media and this president and the Democratic Party tried to paint. The American people rejected those lies. The American people said, we don't believe you on any of those things. We also don't agree with the direction you're taking us. Now, that doesn't mean that there's a blank check that, you know, the American people are writing the Republicans, because even the Republicans aren't trusted by people who vote Republican. I don't trust the Republicans. So there's no blank check implied here. What happened yesterday is exactly what the president said this election was about recently. Before they went to the polls, the president gave a speech, and he laid it out and said exactly what this was really all about.
But make no mistake, these policies are on the ballot. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. His policies.
He was even clearer than that, I thought, in other places. But he was very clear that it is the policies that his name was not on the ballot, but his policies were on the ballot. Every single one of them. And he's absolutely right. And the American people have rejected it. We have rejected it because of Ebola. We have rejected it because of ISIS. We have rejected it because we don't buy in that the economy is doing well. We have too many friends who are working part-time. We rejected it because we don't believe our borders are secure. We have rejected it because we don't believe that we should just do executive order after executive order after executive order. We don't believe that the EPA should just be able to regulate things out of business. Right now, the average American could be charged with 3 felonies a day. That is Alan Dershowitz saying that. Alan Dershowitz. There are so many laws on the books now that you could be charged with up to 3 felonies a day. That's the average citizen. We warned you that those times were coming. They're here. They're here. So make no mistake. Now is the time that we can get back together and we can actually go back to Washington and say, you listen to the American people now. You listen to the American people. Republicans get the job done.
Good thing you're not doing any downer
bringing me
stuff
down.
Yeah.
today because, I mean,
Democrats had a crappy night. Their agenda is a commie fright. The Democrats, they really suck, but so do Republicans.
that was a little something for you, just to bring you back up a little bit.